Okay, this is another of the series of business partner training tutorials, and today we're going to look at the door setup. And this is probably one of the most difficult things to do with business partner, or at least it's difficult until you understand the relationship of two of the databases. So to look at the door area, we're going to go to our cabinet setup, which is where all the cabinets, doors, trims and moldings, materials, just basically all the different materials that make up cabinets are here. And we have two buttons that are relevant to doors and drawers: the doors and drawers button and the door drawer profiles button. This particular database here has no cost associated with it. It is only here for selection purposes only. So all of your edge profiles and framing profiles, in different profiles for doors are here, and you can actually cut and paste a graphic of those if you can find that on their website, or scan them from a catalog into it. So this is the Elite profile from Conestoga here, but this particular database, door and drawer profiles, carries no cost with it at all. The rest of the door information is in two parts of the database. As we're here, we see a door and drawer database, and we also see a material database. Doors and drawer fronts are the only, and drawer boxes are the only databases that actually are comprised of two separate databases: the door itself and the material for the door. Finishes are all contained here. All of your labor rates are here. Everything about trim and molding is here. Everything about accessories and hardware is here. And within this material database, you have materials that are not doors. You have back material and your face frame material and edge band material, but you also have interior and exterior material, but you also have your door material and drawer box material here, and these are associated with the doors. So I'm going to come back here to this door and drawer database, and we're going to first look at one of the existing doors, and my most common door to use is a CRP10 from Conestoga. And the relationship you need to understand to be able to create new doors or edit doors is that when you're on this page, you're actually looking at two databases. The whole top half of this screen here is the door database, as it says right there. So we're looking at a door called CRP10. And all of this information is about this door. From this point down here, all of this information down here is the door material database. And you're looking at it through a portal. So you're actually looking at two databases at once. And the door cost can be an either or proposition. Here we actually, using Conestoga structure, have a cost per door of $11.25. This is my published cost. I get a 20% discount off of that, or you, or whoever. And then from that, you get calculated cost of $9. If you know what your in-house labor to build this door is, you could enter it here, and you could use this door for both purposes. If you duplicate this door in some way and outsource it sometimes and make it sometimes, you could use this one door for both purposes by entering your in-house labor cost here. From here down, you're looking at the material database for this door, and all these costs are per square foot. And in the Conestoga's case, they do both. So if we were to use this CRP10 door from hardwood alder with a alder level B, then it would be $13.65 per square foot with a 20% discount, for a discounted material cost of $10.92. And then if you enter your material cost, what you pay per board foot for alder, and then enter your waste factor, what do you anticipate your waste factor for this material being, you'll get a calculated cost of $4.22 with an in-house labor cost. This is a calculated field. It's basically taking the material cost and separating that from the labor cost to give you, or the material cost outsourced versus in-house, and saying the difference should be the labor. You can override this field. Any of these fields with a red line around them, you can type into an override, and at that point the numbers will become red, but I don't suggest doing that. You would get two different costs for this same door. If you want to have your own in-house door, you might want to create that with a vendor of in-house. So we have a door here that has two pricing components, a per door cost and a per square foot cost. If your door, if it was coming from a vendor like Walls Craft or Decorative Specialties, in the case of Decorative Specialties, they actually do a little bit of both. But many door companies only charge a per square foot cost, and there wouldn't be a per door cost. You might want to put a $1 or $2 cost in there for a handling charge or something like that, but they don't charge you a per door cost, or many door companies don't. So you can use just a square foot cost, or you could use just a per door cost, or you can use a combination of both. The advantage to Conestoga's scheme is that this per door cost is basically the labor to manufacture this door, and this per square foot cost is a little bit of labor, but mostly material. So this cost very, very seldom changes from Conestoga, but this cost changes sometimes a couple times a year, sometimes once every year, sometimes once every other year, just depending on what's happening in the economy. So they can share this alder material between many, many doors, and they do. When door companies are charging a specific per square foot cost per door, then you have to have a lot more materials than we have for Conestoga in the database. But either way works, and so the relationship you need to understand is that you're looking at two databases here, door database and material database. And for this to work, this field, material type, and Conestoga, or the vendor of Conestoga, have to match. So if I go to any of these materials, and we'll just go to this Alder B, clicking on the gold button for the material will actually take us out of the door database and into the material database. Now you see we're in door materials, and everything here that's not in this box down here is the material database, and everything in this box down here is a portal looking back at the door database and all the doors that are associated to this Alder B material. So all of these doors that we're scrolling through here utilize that same material. So if you change the cost of this material, you've changed the cost of the material for all of those doors, which is a very handy little thing. So here we're looking at the material cost that we were, these are the same costs we were looking at earlier. We're just looking at them in the door material database instead of in the door database. And again, these two fields, material type and vendor, have to match for it to show up. So if I create a new door, and one way of doing that is to duplicate the door or to create a new door. So from here, we'll do both, just so I can show you how this works. So I'm going to first duplicate the CRP10 door, and I'm going to rename this door Your Door. And I'm going to create a vendor called Yours. And now as soon as I click out of this field, because this vendor doesn't exist for all these materials, they're going to go away. And they did. There's no materials for this door now. We have a door named Your Door, and we have a vendor called Yours, but we don't have any materials for that. So now we have to go to the cabinet setup, go to the materials, go to the doors, and ideally we'll just find one of those door materials, and I'm going to start with one that was already shared. So we'll just use this Cherry B, and we'll duplicate it. And now we'll call this 3/4 inch Your Cherry. And as soon as we change this to Yours, click out of that. Now we have, and it has to match, it has to be spelled the same, but as soon as that matches and this matches, now we see our door called Your Door here. So we have a material called Your Cherry, we have a door called Your Door, and we can go back and forth, and now we see Your Door with the material of Your Cherry. The key to that working is material type has to be the same and vendor has to be the same. Now if we say, okay, I just want to create a new door, you can come in here and say, okay, I want a door, and give it a name, and we'll call this Your Door 2 with a material type of wood B, or just wood. Wood is fine as long as they match. And we'll go ahead and use our new Yours vendor, and we'll give it a cost of $10 per door with a discount of 10%. And now we'll have to go to our material, and remember we want to match wood and yours. So we'll go to our materials and we'll click on any one of these materials just so we can get to the materials and say we want a new material. And this is a door material, and we're going to name this Your Wood, and we need to have a matching vendor here, and we chose wood, or matching material type, and we chose wood. And then here we're going to reuse that yours, and now you see we have a door material called Your Wood and a door called Your Door Number 2, and all of this matches up now. So now we have a door and a material, and as long as we have a material type and a vendor that match, then these databases or you now have a new door that you can use. And if you want to put a material cost in here, and a discount percentage in here, and then your cost possibly, the waste factor, now you've got a complete door that will cost out appropriate. And if you want to put a description in there, you can. And if you want to come over here to your material and put a description in there, you can and should. So that's how the door database works. I hope that's helpful. This is one of the areas that most people have struggled with, or one of the few areas that people have struggled with in the business partner. It's just understanding that this particular item, doors and drawer fronts, need to have matching material types and vendors. So to have a door, you have to have a matching material that has a matching material type and vendor. And it doesn't matter which one you create first. You can create the material first, or you can create the door first. I recommend doing what I did first, which was start with a door that already existed. And in this case, we started with the CRP10 and we duplicated it. That's the easiest way because everything's filled in and you just change the things that are appropriate to you, and it helps you kind of guide through what was there rather than just blank fields that you have to know what to fill in. So I hope that was helpful, and look forward to talking to you on another one of these videos soon. Thanks.